It is not hard for the Harris-Walz ticket and their union allies to point out that Donald Trump let down working class Americans. He promised a lot and didn't deliver. That's something that Sean Fain of the UAW points out very, very clearly. And that critique is important. That's why you see the Trump is a scab t-shirts and all those messages about what a failed presidency Donald Trump's was for working class Americans. But there's a second part of your question, Joe, which I think is really, really important and the one that we need to focus in on. And that is that it isn't just to say Trump is a bad player. You need to have a big, bold vision for economic renewal in America. Now, Harris spelled out a little of that in her Pittsburgh speech, especially at the close of that speech. She talked about renewing the manufacturing sector. That message, though, has got to become much more central to what she's talking about. She should be talking in every speech about renewing the manufacturing economy and, frankly, what the Biden administration has done in that regard. There's some bragging rights there, but also about renewing the farm economy, because this Democratic ticket needs to do a lot better in rural areas than Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden did. And so you need this bigger, bolder message. And that message has to be to a multiracial, multi-ethnic constituency, right? It's, don't just think of working class in narrow ways. Understand that the working class is every race, every ethnicity, every background, and that what they want is a very, very clear shift. You need to incredibly increase the minimum wage, right? $15 sounds good, but even that's not enough anymore. You've got to be talking about 17, 18, 19, $20 an hour minimum wage. You need to be talking about a massive extension of union rights in this country, passing the PRO Act, doing other things that make it possible for people to organize. Polling shows that's one of the best ways to reach out to young workers and to young voters who may be a little bit disenchanted, may not be as engaged as you want. Giving them the access to unions with a change in laws and a real kind of change in frame, that's a big deal. The final element that I would suggest is that, especially for those young voters, and I think for a lot of older voters, there's a place of intersection with increasing wages, increasing manufacturing, but also saving the planet. Donald Trump is never going to talk about that, but that 21st century vision of how we have a Green New Deal and also how we have a way of responding to the AI revolution that's taking place. If the Harris-Walz ticket is talking about that in big, bold ways, there are going to be a lot of breakthroughs